So the movie begins while showing a house. It belongs to a man named Artemis. He wasn't at his home. At the same time, police come to his house and they find precious things from his house. Artemis had stolen these things. He ran from here. Maybe he had stolen this from the museum. They search for Artemis, but they couldn't find him. They find a giant man instead of him. Arrest him, and then the police take him to the unit. Investigate him about it. How does he know Artemis really steal the things? He says that, I don't know about it. But once there was a robbery at Artemis's house. None other than his son done the robbery. The police say, talk us to the point. How can his own son steal his own house things? That giant man says, if you don't want to believe me, so don't. Before it, let me tell you one thing. That was about Artemis's son. Artemis's son was intelligent but ill-mannered. He used to fight with everyone in the school. Anyone, not even the principal. All were annoyed by him and also shocked because of this habit of him. They couldn't say anything to him because he obtained high marks. His son was attached to his father Artemis. He tells stories to his son every day. Those were mostly fairy tales. Artemis's son was also interested in them. Artemis was busy almost. One day, he urgently goes somewhere. He couldn't stop even when his son tried stopping him. Then, Artemis's son goes to sleep. When Artemis's son wakes up, he sees someone. He was a special member of their house talking to someone on the phone that Artemis couldn't reach there today. Artemis's son instantly turns on the news, which said that Artemis was kidnapped on his way. There is a blame on him that he has done many robberies. They were telling that Artemis has done a huge robbery. It's not easy for an ordinary thief. Those were the precious things. Artemis's son didn't believe this. When the phone rings and Artemis's son receives the call, there was an unknown person on the call who has kidnapped his father Artemis. He says to Artemis's son that, I have your father. I'm not going to leave him till you search Aculus for me. The son couldn't understand anything and goes to the bodyguard. He asks him, do you know what is Aculus? Says that, I don't know. But let me take you to the basement where your father did the research. Your ancestors have also done research there, which means his father and his grandfather. It is a very strong research because it's going on for many years. And in the basement, Artemis's son finds out that there were fairies in the old era. Fairies were removed after the fight with humans. Artemis's son and the bodyguard were unable to know what is Aculus. The bodyguard says maybe he has written it in his diary. Artemis's son says that's why he has called me for that diary. Artemis's son starts looking for diary and he finds it. And he starts to read the diary. But Aculus, which was called for, was clearly written about in the diary. It had also written, time to believe. And then the scene changes to the place where the fairies live. They were flying freely. The place was magical and attractive. This girl's name is Holy Shot. She's the police head of this place. She's arresting this giant man. And actually they were friends. Another fairy comes in the scene wearing the hood. We don't see her face, but we know that she has imprisoned a male fairy. She comes to him and says, I'll release you in one condition. You'd have to go to the fairy world and inform me everything. Thing would be to bring Aculus for me from there. That's the Aculus, which is a magical thing. Aculus from which human or anything can teleport in any part of the world. And then in the fairies world we see a lady commander. She's more than 800 years old. Is that you have to search for Aculus. There was the spy of that evil fairy as well. That the evil fairy also knows about this. Meanwhile, the Holy Shot comes to the commander. He says that I have to search for my father. But the commander says, not now. The other side, we see Artemis's son and the bodyguard. They were searching for Aculus, and the bodyguard brings his daughter as well, so that she can help finding Aculus, and then they start talking. Artemis's son says to the girl that my father told me about a place. Fairies would come someday. We have to search for that place. In the other fairy world, we see that the commander allows the holy shot to go to that place. Meanwhile, the spy fairy comes to the commander, says to the commander that holy shot was being a bad fairy while insisting and forcing this on you. And he reminds the commander that the holy shot's father also deceived her, and a holy shot doesn't obey her. Next scene, we see a giant in a marriage ceremony. Holy shot comes right there to fight with it. Everybody can see this in the fairy world on their screens because it's a magical world. They just freeze the place. While freezing, holy shot does magic on them so that they forget everything. Takes that giant with her. We know holy shot had to go somewhere where the commander sent her, but not following the orders, holy shot goes to the place where she saw her father at last. And the Artemis's son was also there waiting for her. Presents the holy shot. Artemis's son takes her to his place and locks her in a cage. And everyone has to wear glasses to talk to her because of magic. Because the fairy holy shot can hypnotize anyone with her eyes. In the fairyland, everyone is worried. They are thinking what to do to bring back holy shot. They decide on sending fairies to Artemis's home. They freeze everything around Artemis's home. And the bodyguard is unaffected. Next scene, fairies are attacking them. Son comes out and says, "Can we talk calmly? You don't listen to me, I'm gonna tell you reality to the whole world." As usual, the evil fairy was watching all this. The fairy that kidnapped Artemis. She says to Artemis, "What is son doing? He's ruining the plan. Does he not know that your life is in danger?" The other world, the commander calls the giant man. The giant man, "You soon will get punishment, you know that, right?" And she says, "We can decrease your punishment only if you would help us." In changes, Artemis's son is talking to that fairy. He asks the fairy, "Can you help me to find Aculus to save my father?" And she says she cannot help because it's a risk thing. It's very risky to your life too. And she tells him about his father and says maybe he has died while kidnapping and robbing the Aculus. She says, "I'll try and find him for you, but you don't take the risk." Artemis's son says, "Don't scare me, because I know everything." He just wanted to get fairies and humans together. He wanted to save this world. And he is a very good human. When Holy Shot sees this love for his father, she becomes a friend of him. For the commander of the fairy world's commander, the giant man goes to Artemis's house. And you have to go and find Aculus because the Aculus is there. Giant man has reached Artemis's house. He opens the locker. Aculus was in front, right there. Holy Shot and Artemis's son are right there. But the commander has already seen this through the eyes of the giant man. So, everybody can watch these things. The evil says to the spy to go to that place instantly. He also arrests the commander so that she cannot do anything. And they have also released the monster. Holy Shot has taken it with her there. And the monster attacks them. But now, the giant man who has seen the Aculus now joins with Holy Shot and Artemis's son and attacks that giant monster. Now the monster, which was about to hold the Aculus, giant man puts the Aculus in his mouth to keep it safe. Monster hangs on the roof of the light. Artemis's son is right under it. Before that monster falls on Artemis's son, his bodyguard instantly protects him. Now he was injured. The monster fell on bodyguard instead of Artemis's son. Holy Shots, who's a fairy, makes the bodyguard instantly fine with her magic. Has to move because the time is freezing. But Holy Shot doesn't move from there. She instantly goes to Artemis's son. Know that the humans can't use Aculus, and I, being a fairy, can use it and get your father back. Now they all sit around a table, holds the Aculus, and the fairy, Holy Shot, does some magic and some light comes out of it. Artemis's son becomes happy, thinking that now my father will come. Passed, but his father didn't appear. Holy Shot becomes sad and says to Artemis's son that I tried my best. But then Artemis's son hears a voice of his father from the basement. They run. And the father is right there in the basement. They hug each other so tight. And somebody's jealous. The evil fairy, of course. The son introduces Holy Shot to his father, says, that's a fairy, Holy Shots. The fairyland. And the father is like, of course I know her. Stupid son. He walks up to Holy Shots and says, your father was a good human. And all that has been done, it was all to save the lives of others. He never deceives anyone. And yes, he did give the Aculus to me. And my little daughter Holy Shots, I'm going to tell you the name of the people who deceived. He says in that list there are names and give it to your commander and you'll be at ease. In the fairyland, they start looking for it, looking for the deceivers. We see Artemis gives a remembrance to his son and says that my second mission has started. Son, I have to go. But the son says that I'll come with you. He gets out, calls the evil fairy and says that we are coming to kill you. And the movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.